Arching your back in the bench press can hurt your gains. So an arch in the bench press is when you bend your back in order to decrease the range of motion that the bar has to travel every repetition. This is used by powerlifters to increase the weight they can lift in competition, or by anyone who just enjoys lifting heavier weights. So arching has a few benefits. One is that it feels better on a lot of people's shoulders, but the biggest benefit for most people is probably that you can lift more weight when you do it. The thing is that you can only lift more weight acutely, meaning right when you do it. But in the long term, excessive arching might actually hurt your muscle and strength gains. There was a study where 3 groups of participants trained different roams or range of motions in the bench press. So one group trained full range of motion, another group trained 2/3 of the full range of motion, and the third group trained 1/3 of the range of motion for 10 weeks. And then their strength was tested at all 3 roams. Kind of surprisingly, it turned out that the group that had trained the full roam bench press increased their strength most in all of the different testing roams. So the full roam group improved the most, not only in the full range of motion test, but also at 2/3 and 1/3, even more than the groups that had specifically trained at those roams. And from other studies, we know that training with a long range of motion is usually better for muscle growth. So what does this say about your bench press training? If you want to build the most muscle and strength, you should probably train with a long range of motion. If you have an excessive arch and only do a very, very small movement, that might hurt your muscle and strength development. So if you're a powerlifter, you might want to do much of your training with a large range of motion, and then when you're peaking for a competition, you might reintroduce those super arch bench presses if you're doing them in the first place. Hope you learned something, and follow me for more tips on training.